when you and I were chatting, I came up with this idea, and hopefully it sounds like something that we can drive some value out of for you as well. But you write a ton of content, and I would call them nuggets of wisdom that you deploy, and gets tremendous support through social media, sometimes a little controversial conversation amongst it. But what I thought we could do is cover some of the most recent content that you have released and talked about. And two that really jumped out at me were a topic people probably are getting tired of talking about, which is zero trust. Just bringing it back to home base, I think, was what you did real well there. And the second one is a job description for a CISO. And so why don't we reverse that order? One of the quotes from the conversation that you brought forth around describing the CISO role, this job description, one of the quotes that got a lot of attention is, you should run towards problems and reach for accountability. This one got a lot of likes, comments, a lot, and I think mostly positive, but why do you think that is right now in the industry? And I'd be very curious, given your tenure in security, is there an example or two that really jumped out? Maybe you did it or somebody on your team that exemplified that particular trait?
Well, so I think it's funny, it's like a fine line, because I think sometimes there's and neither are wrong. So there's an ethos in the CISO community that the job of the CISO is to manage risk. And business unit CIOs or CTOs or the business, they're accountable for the risk and they should do something about it. And that's kind of true. But at the same time, the CISO can't just go, there's a risk. You know, the business unit might want to accept that risk and not do something about it. And the CISO can't just kind of walk away from that. The CISO's got to have some skin in the game and have some kind of moral courage to challenge it. Now, there's a limit to what you can do. So, you know, there might be an organization really does need to take a bit more risk than the CISO's comfortable with for business purposes. But generally speaking, I think the successful CISOs are people that work alongside their peer C-suite executives and just feel a personal, visceral accountability for protecting the business and driving the mission. And that's that kind of reach for accountability phrase. And I kind of, you know, my role before Google, I was at Goldman Sachs for a long time, and the Goldman Sachs culture was very much kind of reach for accountability and like own problems and work with each other. And one of the things that characterizes many great organizations, and you'll know this in your business, if something's going wrong or if there's a problem with a customer or if there's an issue, you can test an organization by how many people are fighting to try and fix that problem. Weaker organizations, you can see it by how many people are running away from the problem and not wanting to take ownership. And I think that's a culture that's important for CISOs. And when business units see the CISO like running towards a problem, looking to help, reaching for accountability, there's a degree of trust there in kind of wartime that's also useful in peacetime.